صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا نبي الله صلى الله عليك وعلى أهل بيتك الميامين. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات على محمد. قال الله العلي العظيم في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. This ayah that I just read is in Surah Al-Furqan, Ayah 30, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is quoting our dear Prophet, the Messenger, our Prophet Rasulullah. In tafsir, they said there are two tafsir about this particular ayah. Some of Mufassirin, some of our scholars, they said it's a statement the Prophet will make Yawm al-Qiyamah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already mentioned it in the form of past tense. Because you know one of the miracles of the Quran is that it contains about the past and current and the future as well. So this ayah is one of the ayahs that Allah mentioned them, but it's about the future. That is one tafsir. Tafsir number two said, no, it is something that is already took place. The Prophet already spoke about it. So it's a past tense. But whatever the case is, whether it's already past or it will be a future, there is one thing about this ayah, and that is the Prophet is complaining to Allah. The Holy Prophet, our dear Prophet, is complaining to Allah, which is unusual for our Prophet. Our Prophet is not a man of complaint. It's a man of forgiving, kindness, loving, caring. You go to Ta'if, the same Prophet who went there to give light to the people of Ta'if, instead of welcoming the Prophet, they welcome him with the stones. The Prophet was bleeding. Jibreel came down. Ya Rasulullah, what would you want me to do with them? And now you put yourself in the shoes of the Prophet. You come to somebody's house to give them a cake, and then suddenly you get stoned. And then the police come and say, what do you want me to do? Allahu Akbar. Take him to jail, arrest him, right? That's us. Rasulullah Jabrail asked him, what do you want? He said, Ya Jabrail, I have a dua for them. Rabbi ihdil qawm fa innahum la ya'lamun. Allah, I ask you to guide them. Don't do it. I ask your guidance. That's Rasulullah. Now the same Rasulullah, he is now complaining to Allah about something. It should be something to call our attention. This man was in this situation, doesn't complain. Now, what is it that somebody did to him to make him complain to Allah? That is something to think about. What was it? And who is he complaining about? He's complaining about you and I, about us. To whom? To Allah. What did we do? Now go to the Quran. The Prophet says, وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ. Allah is quoting him. He said, the messenger said to me, Ya Rabb, oh my Lord, inna qawmi, my people, اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مَهْجُورًا. I brought them the best book you can ever imagine, which is Quran. But what did they do? Mahjur. Al-hijra in Arabic is to leave something for something, or to leave a place to move from one place to another. Meaning, Ya Allah, I brought them the Quran, but they forgot Quran and started to think out to take something other than the Quran. They abandoned the Quran. That is the complaint of the Prophet to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He brought us the best book, but we put it aside and we abandoned it. Tonight, brothers and sisters, because one of the message of Karbala is Quran, brothers and sisters. The message of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And here I just want you to think about, on the ninth of Ashura, when the letter came to Imam Hussein that they want to attack that night of Tasu'ah, a day before the Yawm al-Ashur, Imam Hussein alayhi salam told Abul Fadl Abbas, tell the people, أن يمهلون سواد هذه الليلة. Tell them now, we're not going to fight tonight. It's impossible. No fight tonight. Why? Now listen to the message. Imam Hussein told Abul Fadl Abbas, tell them, أريد أن أصلي وأتلو القرآن. Imam Hussein said to Abul Fadl, tell them that I want to do two things. Number one, salat. Number two, reading Quran. You know what that means, brothers and sisters? Imam Hussein delayed one night of him going to heaven. He delayed it just because he was to read Quran. Now, no understanding that important night. Imam Hussein, there is a heaven right there. He can go that night. But he said, no, I don't want to go to heaven that night. I want to delay that night for reading Quran and namaz, so that Quran can be your legacy and the lesson to learn from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That is one of the lessons of the Karbala that we need to learn. Now going back to the ayah, the Quran tells us that the Prophet complained that we abandoned the Quran. How did we abandon Quran? Now I want to tell you some kind of group and categories, and then I want you and I to choose and learn which group am I belong to, and then better ourselves as we get into New Year tonight. And let us make a new resolution between us and Allah. That, Ya Allah, as this New Year is coming, I want to be a friend of Quran.